What's up guys, this is Sean and today we will answer a question from email and this is from Key. Hi Sean, good day to you. First of all, thank you for creating these informative property knowledge videos. They are quite useful, especially for first-time home buyers and young investors. I don't want to create long sentences to make you dizzy. Let me get straight to the point. Very good. Currently, I'm working in New Zealand and my net income converted to ringgit is about 12,000 per month. I'm trying to invest in KL or Penang property to hedge against inflation in the future. New Zealand property is not encouraged for own stay or investment due to the high mortgage rates of 7 to 8% and expensive house prices ranging from 650,000 to 1 million New Zealand dollars. Whoa. So my assets at the moment are: Number 1, one condo at Taman Desa which is rented out and able to cover the repayment. Number 2, planning to fully settle the Taman Desa mortgage loan, about 69,000 left in the coming 4 to 5 months. Number 3, planning to buy a new property located at Sri Raya MRT station, around 467,000 with a 10% rebate and estimated completion in next year, September. So no 10% deposit needed. The question is, number 1, family members are saying now is the good time to buy. Family members are saying now is the right time to invest in gold instead of property. However, I'm not familiar with gold. What are your thoughts on gold investment? Number 2, should I take this Sri Raya MRT unit since it is a resale unit as the developer is in the process of terminating the SPA with the previous owner? Are there any things I need to take note of for this kind of resale unit? Number 3, I've noticed that existing rental units in Sri Raya MRT are not that high and we might need to top up the monthly repayment by about 500 to 600 ringgit. Do you recommend high density projects around the Sunway Velocity area? Your answers might already be provided in your YouTubes before. I wish I could have followed your YouTube channel a few years ago. If not, by now I will have held a few more properties. Hope that you can keep my name anonymous and appreciate your time to provide some advice. Thanks. Anyway, Key, thank you very much for the email and this is a person who is working in New Zealand. Wow. Now Australia lah, New Zealand lah, Hong Kong lah, Singapore lah. Wow. This channel is really turning international. Yes. But thank you for sharing, right, the properties around the international waters or world. Because for everyone who is stuck in Malaysia, keeps thinking that, hey, Malaysia very expensive lah, Malaysia everything low class, everything whatsoever. No. Actually, Malaysia's property comparatively, it's very affordable. For the size we get, for the infrastructure we get, for the build quality and etc. The only sad thing is that our income and our currency is just not as strong. That's about it. So if you can figure out or hack the system in trying to get your side gig becoming a main business, or you try to get yourself promoted a little bit faster, so the active income will be the main thing that determines whether the houses is within affordable range or not lah. Alright, unfortunately. But the mortgage rates around New Zealand is 8% leh. And last time, earlier of the year, like around April or May when I was in UK, the housing loan was around 8 to 9% as well. And now in Malaysia it's around 3.9, 3.8 today. In the time of recording. Is it expensive? Then when Bank Negara announced there might be a possibility of hike in OPR, where everybody kanjiong, hey Sean, now the OPR is so high. So OPR high or not, it's really based on your comparison. I came out at the day where it was 6 to 7% when I first bought my property. So even when my property is generating 5.5% ROI, I'm still coughing out money every month. But it's fine. Then suddenly when interest rate all starts dropping, right, woohoo, so I start making money lah. So now if you ask me, is the OPR today expensive or cheap? I had 6%, it's cheap. To my aunt who taught me investment, right, she got it at 10%, so it's even cheaper. That's why now seriously, with all the developers, all the launches available in the market, with all the freebies given to first time home buyers, right, I hope everybody grabs this opportunity real hard. At least build your wealth by 1 or 2 properties within these few years, right? Because we will never know when all these will change. What if the 290% loan quota for residential properties will be taken off? Because like now, you know what? No more speculation. Everyone got one chance on it, 90% loan. Wow, kanjiong already. Or now no more such thing as zero down payment or 10% discount. No more such thing. Everyone must pay up 25% down payment, just like the rest of the world. Only Malaysians think that, oh, this zero upfront payment lah, cashback treatments lah, we think like, oh, we so spoiled one. The rest of the world is asking at least 20 to 25%. Insane. So when all this starts coming into play, which I think it will be, because that's one of the easiest route to go to if they want to address the housing issue of Malaysia, because now at this same realm we have an oversupply issue. At the same time, we have people not being able to buy property issue. So both sides is very extreme, and if the government wish to please the other side, where they want now everybody can afford to buy property, right? The best way is to lock down investment activities so prices will be controlled. Will that really solve the issue? Not really, but at least it will gain popularity, because people who cannot afford properties cannot tahan looking at investors buying multiple properties. One, you see, they all keep buying because of them. Property prices are going up like crazy, but they don't look within in why they cannot get one. And coming back to Key, so he or she, I don't know, because it's only Key. He had one condo in Taman Desa and the rent can cover installment already. Okay, let's assume it's he lah, right? He is planning to fully settle the mortgage loan, left around 69,000 only. And he is considering a new property in around Sri Raya MRT station. I think we kind of know which one already. Around 470,000. Wow, I think very good. In no time, you will fully own one property already, and based on that, your rent fully will be your investment income already. I don't call it passive income, I choose to call it investment income instead, because there's nothing passive about it. There's a lot of work to be done. Although people say, wow, just every month people bank in money, right? A lot of work to do one. So for that, I congratulate you. How nice, now got investment income already. And now let's address the questions. Gold versus property. And the family say is now good time for gold. To me, I always will ask this: are your family members good in investment first or not? Because nowadays I realize this thing. A lot of people are like short-term or instant expert after watching a clip or two. Suddenly, wow, this analyst say, I watched a video on TikTok, he say, right, the war, because of the war now, gold spike high lah. Then because of the war now, this stock can buy lah, that stock that can buy lah. But when you really sit down and ask, uncle, you got buy or not? No lah, where got money? I hear say only ma. People say you can buy ma. I tell you only ma. That's the absolute danger of this statement. Yes, in any moment of time, it's based on your own research, based on your own appetite, because my principles is this: I'm an advocate for property investment because it suits my lifestyle the best. And I love buildings, I love developments, I love construction. That's why it's the most rational thing for me to put my money in. I'm so familiar with it. All my connections, all my friends, all my memories revolve around that world. So even if you tell me now, hey, this stock can buy, to me, most likely I don't even know the login to my investment account. You tell me crypto can buy, I put some, but that's more of gambling, because the amount of research work to be done is something I perceive as hassle. So I don't like it. That's why you ask me to read it, right? Then I'm like, yeah, for what? Then gold as well. Then we all talk about gold. Is that physical gold or is that some account? And the worst thing is statements like this, right? If it comes from an ignorant relative, fine, right? Ignorant ma. So okay lah, you very gao, okay? Panai, very good, okay? The worst is when they come with the intention of commission. That's the worst. So they are cashing in on the relationship, the bloodline relationship, for ringgit, for money. Hey, this one, auntie very good one, auntie very good one. I'm family ma, right? Once you sign up, that's it. And the worst thing is, after you lose money, I don't know ma, my boss say one or my team leader say one or whatsoever. To me, what is the safest form of investment? The investment that I'm most familiar with. That's my answer. And it's very, very confusing, especially within this world of technology right now. Media is going haywire. Even media outlets has agendas. That's why it all boils down to your point of reference. Within real estate world, if you think that property is good, you are right. If you think it's bad, you are also right, because it depends on which point of time or which location you refer to. If you look into Johor's high-rise lah, oversupply lah, are you right? Yes. If you look into Mont Kiara's rental market, it's really picking up like mad. Yes, you are right. Both sides also right. So how to decide then? Entirely up to you, and you make the call of investment. And if you make money, congratulations. If you lose money, just be accountable for it and move on. You don't have to answer to anybody else if you lose money one month. That's the best part. Question number 2: should I take this Sri Raya MRT unit since it's a resale unit? Are there any things I need to take off for this kind of resale unit? I think resale unit is just like most likely the owner wants to cancel the SPA due to personal reasons, or the loan they try really cannot approve, then they released it. I think this is what you call resale, right? But to me, when you are looking into a property with around 470,000, and also your question number 3 where you mentioned that you need to top up 500 to 600 a month, so I don't know whether is this the maintenance of it, or is just purely installment and rent. And I like your direction already, where you are looking into high density projects around Sunway Velocity. To me, high density or not, usually high density location means there's a very high demand for temporary space, which means people are there in and out, and this usually happens to locations close to high commercial area or close to areas with high job opportunities. Like if you look into KLCC area where you have a lot of offices, right? Within KLCC area, the residents then usually those are not for people who works around KLCC. So it's usually like Mount Kiara, then you look into KL Central, then you look into Bangsa South. And why Sunway Velocity area is very prosperous and you can see development non-stop coming out, right? Because all are kind of leveraging on TRX, which is the next big thing. And you look into the development of it, a lot of people do not know, like next to TRX, so what, right? Actually, next to TRX means within TRX itself, if you look into the brochure, if you look into the estimated population of workers, population of people and job opportunities around that area, not all stay within TRX one, right? So of course, many may move away, and where is the most affordable, most value for money location? Will be Sunway Velocity, which is around 2 to 3 stations away. Whether or not you want to consider Sunway Velocity or not, to me, I will only look at data if for investment. Instead of me just looking at, I know that I'm going to cough out 600 every month for the property, and at 400 over 1,000, right, my installment is around 1,600. So if I were to cough out another 500 more, so my rent is around 1,001 when my money installment is 1,600. Does it make sense then? Are there better options for my money? Yes, they are. So here again, since you have some capital, right, where you are going to fully settle your loan within the first property in Taman Desa, may I suggest to explore other formats of investment, where now you are into the first one where you have new property, sub-sale. Have you checked it out before? Auction property. If you're not familiar, if you are in overseas, then I would not suggest. Have you explored bulk purchase just yet? Because I would like you to see all available avenue for investment first before pulling your trigger. And I realize this is a very common thing. Whenever someone has their eye locked onto one development, right, they know it's not going to make money, then they blame the developer for such product, they blame the market for not increasing the rent, they blame everything else. Why not just move on to another project? If this project A cannot work, move on. Project B cannot, C, D, E, F, G, H, 20 of them. Eventually you will find one, and that would be my recommendation. And the only question here is because you didn't give me your age, so I'm not sure how much loan that you can get. That's why I'm not too sure whether the settlement of the first property loan is a good move or not. Since every month, right, it's giving you enough rent already, so why bother settling it? Instead, using the money to invest something else where the rent can cover the installment. And if your only choice right now is to venture around new properties, right, the problem with new properties directly from the developer is they will give you at retail price. It means that you are buying at RRP. What investors usually do is then to buy below RRP. If you buy from sale, it allows you to buy directly from owner, so you get to somewhat negotiate, craft the deal based on urgency of the owner. Then in auction, it's important then to identify deals within that market, but it comes with certain risks where it sometimes involves caveat, sometimes it involves title issues, sometimes it involves maintenance issue, outstanding maintenance fees and etc. So it's kind of messy there. The fourth one, I assume you haven't ventured yet, so I would suggest you to check out the bulk purchase route as well, because within that route, within that world, there's also different types of deal available. So my point is to get yourself informed in all form of deals within the market first before targeting. Since you are not in a rush to come back, since you are not in a rush, why commit to yourself in a project where you surely know it can never cover, right? You already know you need to cough out 500 to 600 a month. A lot of people will then say, "Aya, 500-600 better than nothing ma." Wow, why leh? Why must you settle for a project that cannot make money? Why? Just move on lah. Well, unless it's a relative unit back to the one that suggests you that gold can buy lah. And I guess that's all for today. Thank you very much again, Key, for writing in. So in conclusion, audit the person that is giving us the advice. Do our due diligence on our own. Hearsay is fine, but I will always look at the person who is trying to give me advice. It wouldn't make sense and it would be a waste of time to listen to a person who they do not have the result that we want, right? Makes sense, right? When you're not living the lifestyle that I want, you're not having the things that I need, why would I listen to you then? Then for the resale unit, I don't think there's any issue within the arrangement legally. But to me, it will be the options of properties. So I always suggest people to check out 20 different properties, and these different properties revolves around type, around age, around typology, around location, around preferences of yourself as an investor. So you know what kind of property you like, what's your risk appetite, and when you invest, you're more comfortable and it's easier to be accountable for it as well. And I guess that's all for this episode. Thank you very much for writing in, and for those who still have any questions regarding real estate, do just email me at taniherng@gmail.com, or you can just DM me on Instagram iherng, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Ciao.